welcome to this camping episode of Talking Lamar. Today, I'm talking about what it's like to travel with my smoking hot wife. Let's get to it.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I forgot what I was talking about.
What are you talking about?
I am talking to you.
That's just what I was talking about.
It's Talking Lamar.
Carla and I try to stay on the go a lot when we can. She's trying to sell houses and I'm trying to find stuff to talk about. So we're pretty busy with work, but when we get a chance to get away, we take it. And we just ran down to the beach for a few days and we're joined by some friends. And it was the first time we have had sleepover company in our camper. And it was a couple and their teenage daughter. And the campground that we went to was basically sold out. And they didn't have any sites with the cement pad available. And I really like a cement pad because it keeps the dirt and stuff down. But at the beach, that means if you don't have a cement pad, you don't have grass, you got dirt. And it's not optimal, but we can normally work with it. But it is called camping after all. And
do you like a cement pond too? Do you like a cement pond? I'm sorry, Lamar. I had to.
I knew. I need to try to avoid this. I need to try to avoid the word cement. No wonder we can't stay on a station.
Yeah.
You backwoods.
Make a note.
Bumpkin.
Make a note.
Is it better if I call it concrete?
Okay.
Anyway,
Sorry.
it had rained on us on the way down, so now we're not talking about dirt. We're talking about mud now. I mean, it's mud. But we have a large camping rug that we put down, and since it was pretty muddy, we've also got a tarp. So I'll put a tarp down first and then the rug. So we got everything set up and went to Walmart for supplies. And we needed some stuff other than groceries, so we got that first. So, you go into Super Walmart and groceries on one side and everything else on the other side. So we go to the other side first. And, of course, we didn't bring a cooler, so we had to buy one of those at Walmart. And so since we're in the camping section, I discovered a few items that we could not do without because it's like anything else. If you've got a hobby, they're always trying to sell you something, and you always see stuff that you think you might need because it's the hobby. And one of the things I discovered was a s'mores rack. You ever seen one of these, Sheri?
Oh, I have seen these. In fact, I was cruising through a website looking for something for Kevin and came upon one of these s'moresy rack things. Yeah. Did you buy it? Did you fall for that?
I did because the teenage daughter was coming down. It was her birthday, and I figured she'd want to do s'mores. And so you got 3 places on the rack that you set the cookie down, the graham cracker. You set 3 of those down. Then you set down 3 pieces of chocolate. And then they make marshmallows that are specially for s'mores. They're flat and square. So you put the marshmallow on there, then you cap that with the graham cracker, and then you close the other part of the wire on, and it traps them. It doesn't break anything. It doesn't crush anything, but it secures them so you can hold it over the fire and turn it, and get your stuff melted and all that. Really, really cool deal. Really cool deal. And while we're there, we got an extendable, I don't know why I needed this, an extendable campfire poker that you could make into double the size of it or whatever. And I bought that, bought a new outside lamp, got a couple other things that probably never going to use, but we bought them anyway. So Carla mentioned that we needed some deodorant spray and some bathroom spray. We didn't have any. And so, because we're having company, and so I said, well, we'll get that on the grocery side. And Carla said, well, no, I think it's not going to be on the grocery. I said, Carla, it's going to be over there. It's like if you go into any grocery store, it's going to be over there in one of those aisles. And I said, it's just ridiculous. Come on, let's go. So we go over there and we start shopping in the groceries. And so we find everything we need except the spray. And Carla said, I told you so. Well, I hate to hear that. I told you so. And so I doubled down. I said, look, we just missed it. Let's just go back up down the aisles. We'll find it. Well, didn't find it. So now I'm looking around and I saw something that you'd never, ever see in a Walmart. An actual employee, complete with a blue vest. I looked over there and I didn't rush her. As quietly as I could, I slowly walked towards her because I didn't want to spook her. I didn't want her to run off. And I got within 3 feet and then I made eye contact. And before she could bolt, I said, I need to ask you a question. She goes, okay, what is it? I said, I didn't see the spray, the like deodorant spray. Can you tell me what aisle it's on? She didn't shrug. She didn't say, I'm not sure. She said, oh, that's over there in section J, way over there, which is exactly where we were. She said, it's on J6. We're standing in A2. Now, I wish she'd have ran away because now I got to listen to this for the rest of the trip in there. I would have rather went to another store than to turn around and hear Carla go, I told you so. And I was not wrong. Am I not right? I said, yes, God knows you're right. Let's go. So we get back over there to section J. It's like a mile away. And Carla's just loving it. So we get over there and we get the stuff. So we get back to the camper. And so people are supposed to be there pretty soon. So I set up the Blackstone griddle because we're going to have hamburgers. So they call and say they're about 30 minutes out. And so they tell us they're driving in a torrential downpour, gusting winds. It's not looking good. So I look on the weather channel and sure enough, we've got about 10 minutes before we get to downpour. So I fire up the griddle and I get the hamburgers ready. I get them all seasoned up. And about that time, the first drops start dropping. So I go out there and I throw them on there and I smash them down. I close the lid and I get back inside. And so I let them cook for a little while. And I mean, it's pouring down rain. It is just crazy. And so I get an umbrella in one hand, a spatula in the other, and I go out there and I flip them. And so there's just a ton of rain, but we're not getting any wind. So when I go back in, I decide I'll put the awning out just enough to cover the grill so that when they're done, I won't get soaked. Okay. So I go out, I get the burgers off. I stick them in the oven on warm, keep everything ready. The friends pull up. So we come in, we eat, sun comes out. And so Carla and the two girls decide to go on a golf cart ride. So I make me and Terry a cocktail. And as I get ready to go outside to hand him his drink, I decide I'll finish putting out the awning since the sun's out. So I start to push the button to extend the awning. And I look up, and as I'm doing this, I see a couple of drops of water, and everything goes into slow motion. As soon as the awning had moved a quarter of an inch, I can see what's fixing to happen. But by the time my brain got the message, and before I could get the words out, at least 15 gallons of rainwater dropped directly down on Terry. He was standing in the exact spot.
No.
I mean, he was standing in the very spot, and it just drenched him. And I'm apologizing. I mean, because I did not mean for that to happen. And I know this is not what he had planned, but he is completely drenched. And about that time they pull up and they're like, what are you doing? I said, I had no idea. I had no idea that was fixing to happen. So I drenched him, but we wound up having a pretty good weekend and it was fun. We ate a bunch of stuff and just had a good time. And so they pack up and they leave out. And so Carla and I getting ready. And so I don't know what it's like for other couples. And this is probably a question for you, Sheri, when you and Kevin travel. I don't know what it's like for you to travel, but and maybe it's different because we're pulling a 41-foot trailer and it's weighing 15,000 pounds. But it's still just a trip. I don't care what you're doing. It's just a trip. It's a man and a woman in a vehicle on a trip. But I find that men and women have completely different priorities. Now, I am conscious.
Oh, we sure do. We sure do. Yeah, we sure do.
I am conscious of exactly what I pay for gas or fuel everywhere. I never pass a gas station that I don't look at the fuel prices. And I make a note in my head, where that price is. Carla has no idea of what a gallon of gas has ever cost in her entire life. She knows nothing about how much she pays for gas. Most of the time, for her to get, I pump the gas, but even when she's by herself, she
doesn't even look at it.
She swipes the card, she pumps it till it's full, and that's it. Now, are you that way, or do you keep track?
Oh, I keep track, and if I get a deal, like I'm coming home and talking about it. So I'm a Costco member. Gas is cheaper. I'm such a man. Gas is cheaper at Costco, but the grocery store that I do a lot of my grocery shopping at has a fuel points loyalty program. And it's not good for every gas station. I think there are like 2 gas stations within reasonable distance of me. Yeah. But when I use my fuel points and get like $1 off per gallon, I come home and I'm like, ask me what I just paid for gas. Go ahead, ask me. I dare you. Yeah, I'm a dude. I'm totally a dude.
All right, now the question. All right, now is Kevin as conscious about it as you are? So both of you. Well,
he doesn't. He's not as competitive about it as I am, and he has another level. He doesn't like. Is it ethanol? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
He doesn't like gas that has ethanol in it. So if you think finding a fuel points eligible gas station is hard, let's go find one that's fuel points eligible without ethanol. Yeah. Well, he's so focused on gas mileage that when we do our big drives back and forth to like my mom's house, he is calculating. There's a lot of wind and we're going against the wind and we have the truck cap on. Yeah, he's doing gas math.
So does he think that he gets better gas mileage without the ethanol?
He just thinks it's better fuel. That's all. He just thinks
they don't have the corn in it. They don't have the corn.
Can I tell you, he's told me a couple of times why he likes it better. No one tell him that I don't remember what the hell he said.
Well, now, the one thing I don't do is when I'm in the truck pulling the trailer, I don't calculate mileage because when you're pulling 15,000 pounds down the road, you don't even want to know. You just don't want to know. But my truck holds 35 gallons. And so the price for diesel fuel can vary from a quarter to up to 75 cents a gallon. It can vary that much depending on where you stop. So if it's 75 cents different on 35 gallons, that's over $25 on a tank of fuel. So I'm having this discussion with Carla because we'd gotten down. We didn't have a whole lot of fuel left. We had enough to go, whatever. But we'd already dropped the trailer, so we're doing some shopping, and I've got to fill up. And so she's, well, just pull in here. And I'm like, no, this is not a good price. Because I'd already seen a place earlier that I could save, at least 25 cents a gallon. And she opens up her pocketbook. She goes through and she gets out a 5 and 5 ones and she hands it to me and she says, here, just pull over and get the gas. I'll pay you the difference. And I pointed out, well, that's our money. Your point here is invalid. You're taking the money that comes out of our account. Like it's not going to matter that I've just lost $10. I said, but I'll go ahead and take the $10 and I'll put it in my pocket because cash is cash for your husband. You don't ever give that up. I mean, what the hell? So, she cares nothing about gas. And I tell you what she does care about, though. When you're driving down the road and she spots a brake light at 600 yards, if it's the 10th car in front of all the people that we're behind and he taps his brakes and that light comes on, she relays this information to me immediately. They're stopping. I'm like, okay, I think they are stopping, but that's happening way up front. She is if I could hand her a steering wheel, she would be turning it while we're going down the road. I mean, she's very conscious of traffic and all this kind of stuff. And between the truck and the trailer, we have 10 tires that we're rolling down the road with. And I have a tire monitoring system that keeps track of how much air pressure is in each tire and what the temperature is for that tire. So you know what's going on. And so if the temperature does go up or the pressure goes down a certain amount, it will send off an alarm and let me know. So there's no reason to worry about it until something happens. But Carla is faithful to ask me about every 30 minutes on the trip how the tires look. How the tires look? I said, well, they look about the same as they did 30 minutes ago when you asked me that same thing. And so it's back and forth and back and forth. Now, I will confess from time to time on a long trip, if I have, and I don't know how Kevin he can drive 24 hours, can he not? Just he can drive.
Kevin can drive, and he can drive like in the middle of the night. He can drive 13, 14 hours in like all day long. I don't know how. I just can't. Like I'm good for 8, maybe 9, with a couple of breaks, but he can just go and go and go. And the other thing that's bizarre about him, this is ADHD, I think. His brain is different. Caffeine is meaningless to him. Meaningless. He can drink a venti Starbucks and go to bed and sleep like a big old dog. Yeah. It's the craziest thing.
It doesn't keep me awake like at home. I can go to bed, but when I'm driving, I have coffee in my hand. Which serves two purposes. The coffee, the caffeine, that's great, but it also means I have to stop to go to the bathroom and to get a fresh cup of coffee. So that's causing me to stop, because one of the things that helps me stay awake and stay alert is getting out of the car and just walking into a place and walking back out, just moving around after you've sat for a while. And so we're trying to make it back. And so we're trying not to make any stops. And so after a while, if I hadn't got out of the seat in 5 hours, I get tired and I get a little sleepy. If I look the least bit sleepy, she starts poking me and flicking my ear and asking me the stupidest questions in the world. Because her thought process is, if she irritates the crap out of me, that means I'm wide awake. Listen, we've been on trips. If I'm sleepy coming back in, by the time we get home, we don't speak for the rest of the day, because because I don't care if I make you mad.
Pissed you off so much, yeah.
Yeah, as long as I piss you off, you're gonna. But and every time we turn into a place, or if we're driving through a shopping center or whatever we're doing, you got enough room? Are we going to hit that car? Is the trailer going to swing out? Is it going to hit something? And she knows I drove a tractor trailer for 30 years. Evidently, that's not registered to her. I mean, it's just not, because in the car, it's constant. And we have this going the whole time. And if we're going somewhere and we've got to take the car, let's say we're going to take the car, maybe she's going to leave early or something like that, and she follows me, you would think that would be easier, but it's not, because she's behind me. And she's trying to help me drive from behind, and she's calling me constantly on the phone. What's going on up front? What's going on? So there's no way I can't escape it. I cannot escape it. And she does.
You would love traveling. You would love traveling with me. I am so used to being ferried around that if we get in the truck, because Kev only likes to drive his car, if we get in the truck and he's had 15 minutes of sleep and a wild animal has chewed off part of his leg, I'm like, you good to drive? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. Okay. And I don't look, that's it. I'm looking out the window. I'm just completely oblivious. I take him at his word. I'm a lot of things, but a backseat driver is not one of them. Now, buddy, when it comes to navigating, I can only give you the information I have. And if you ask me to look at the paper map, well, son, if I don't know where we are, how the hell am I going to tell you where to go? The paper map is just like a mess to me, right? So anytime you're out in the middle of the boo-foos, there's, there can be like a lag on your car, your navigation on your phone or whatever. That drives him crazy. We have made so many U-turns and gone in so many circles over the years, but I can only work with the tools I have. Okay. This is not the Starship Enterprise. There's nothing I can do, Captain. I'm just telling you what I'm telling you. But I have such complete faith in his ability to drive, tired, wounded, whatever. Now, this is not reciprocated. I could have 12 hours of sleep and an IV of pure caffeine, and he's still like, you make me nervous. I think I'll drive. I mean, does Carla ever drive and haul the trailer?
No, she won't drive. Number one, she will not pull the camper. She will not pull the camper. She's not comfortable pulling the camper. Now, she loves to tell me the story of when she was 18 years old and she worked at a florist, like a landscaping company. She loaded up a bunch of flowers and she drove all the way across country to Texas when she was 18 years old, pulling a 15-foot trailer. She tells that story, but when I say, do you want to get used to pulling the camper? Oh, no. There's no way. I said, well, quit telling the story about being 18 years old and driving across the country pulling that trailer. Quit telling that story, because you can't tell that story and then keep refusing. Because I said, look, what if we're somewhere and I have a heart attack and you've got to drive back? I said, but no, she won't drive.
We couldn't.
She will not drive.
We could not have that vehicle if I had to drive it. If you had a heart attack, so like I've never driven an RV. All the years that we did all the Bob and Sheri RV crazy trips, all that, I never once was in the driver's seat. I'm going to Colorado in a month to help my youngest find a place to live, and we're going to bring a bunch of stuff out. I'm going to drive the Starship Dancercise, and we're going to load it up and bring a bunch of stuff out and put it in storage for her. And Carmia was like, well, what if we got one of those U-Haul trailers? And I said, ma'am, I can't tow a trailer. I can't tow a trailer around the block, much less 1,566 miles through the plains and the Rocky Mountains. You have to know who you are. And I am not someone that needs to be driving a vehicle towing a trailer. Agree or disagree? Max, you would know.
I agree, Sheri.
Yeah,
I agree.
thank you. Thank you. I have no business in that world, and I'm not going to try it.
Lamar, do you think that Carla is a little concerned when you're driving, perhaps because you tend to have
a little
bit of a lead foot?
She mentions that too. I mean, she does. She mentions it. But now I don't drive as fast when I'm pulling the camper. I don't drive as fast. I'm not really comfortable driving. But now sometimes if I'm not paying attention, we'll get on up there around 75 or 80, and she'll call my attention to it. And
can I have a question? Sheri has a question.
Yes.
So there's a lot that I don't understand, but basic physics I really get. So it seems to me that if I'm driving 60 miles an hour in your truck, towing your camper, which weighs, I don't even know how many tons, a couple tons, 3 tons, 4 tons.
15,000 pounds.
15,000 pounds. So like, more than 7 tons. Okay. So that trailer has its own momentum, right? And so when it comes time to hit the brakes, don't I need to have like a lot of time and planning before I bring that beast to a halt? Or does it not work that way?
No, it's got its own braking system. When I touch my brake in the truck, the brakes on the camper come on at the same time. And so they're adjusted to where, like, the camper, when I put the brakes on, the camper doesn't push me, but it also doesn't drag me. They come on and they hit it exactly the same, whatever force or whatever. So it slows down really quick. I'm not saying it still wouldn't take you some time to slow all that down, but the truck is made to slow down. Everything works together, and so it slows down pretty quick. You're not in really any huge danger. Yeah, it's not like a runaway train. No, I'm okay.
I believe you. I believe you. I just don't want any part of it. And so if I were towing a U-Haul trailer, they don't have their own little brakes, right? Don't I have to be thinking about that little trailer behind me every time I make a turn or change lanes?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I'm not doing it, Lamar. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, no, you
and
should.
I know somebody's gonna email me and go, "Girl, you need to do it." Can I just be honest with y'all? I have done some shit in this life, and no regrets. Okay, no regrets. But I'm not doing. There's some other shit I'm not going to do. And driving 1,566 miles, towing a trailer is on the list of some shit I'm not doing.
No,
I just don't want to. You can't make me. I'm not
that's
gonna.
A lot. No, that's a lot. You're not. That's not the time to learn. That is not the time to learn to do that. It's really not. So, no, I don't think so.
And Kev, to be honest, Kevin is pacing and grumbling at the thought of me driving 1,566 miles in a vehicle that I've owned since 2013 and know as well as I know anything in this world. Just because I tend to get hypnotized by the wind turbines, and I have to go through Kansas to get to Colorado. So I'm with Carla. There are certain aspects of the patriarchy where this is where my take on it is. Hey, my brother, you have your boot on my neck, and it pisses me off to no end. But since it's already there, how about you go ahead and take out the trash and drive the camper? Because I ain't got it.
Now listen, when I'm in the car, if I can talk her into driving in the car, I go right to sleep. I could sleep from here to. I don't pay attention to what she's doing. Don't bother me. I mean, I'm pretty trustworthy, or I'm pretty trusting on it anyway. But yeah, she's not doing this camper deal though. I got to do it.
When I see people backing those fifth wheel campers up into a spot at a campground, I have to say, like, round of applause. I'm super impressed by that. When the way y'all back your trailers in and all of that is just very impressive.
It's just practice. It's like anything else. The first few times you try to do it, it's not the same. But once you get used to it, I mean, it's it's really not that big of a deal.
You ain't the first boy to tell me that, let me just say. I have heard that speech before. It's impressive. It's impressive. I mean, we were in an RV one time, and of course I'm giving directions, and my directions are terrible because there's a lag on the 5G or whatever. And now we are on a dirt road on a steep incline, hanging off the side of this like mountain, trying to get back down. And I'm pretty sure that, if I had been driving it, we would have rolled it and it would have been a disaster. But because Kevin was driving it, he was like, his jaw was grinding his teeth. He was just, and he goes, I was like, you got this. You got this. And I'm literally like playing Whirly Word on my phone while we're hanging off the side of a mountain because if you're a truck driving, camper hauling, fix it up sort of dude, you earn our trust. And you should feel so good about that, Lamar.
Yeah. Here's the deal about getting into the campground though. You get back there and if you start backing up, if you hadn't got it in by 2 tries, you start seeing doors opening and hear these guys come out and get them a chair.
Yeah.
Because so now the intimidation factor is there. So you got to get that put up pretty quick. And then if you back up the 3rd or 4th time, somebody else, y'all need some help. Well, now, hell no. I'll leave the campground. I'll go back home before I let your ass help me back up the damn camper.
So. I talked about this when we moved out of we got Karamia moved out of housing last month. If you are standing in a parking lot struggling to put something on the roof rack of your car and you have a bungee cord in one hand, it operates like a summoning tool. Dads in khaki shorts will appear from nowhere. Can you tie a blah, blah knot? Let me do that for you. I mean, and I know that as men, you don't love like having other men come to your rescue, but you can't tell me that that's not an awesome resource when you're like jacked up at the campground or whatever. Yeah, it is. But I will say, and which time we got to get out of here, but yeah, she drives me crazy, and I'm pretty sure I could drive her crazy too. But no matter what, she's my ride or die. And I'm gonna hit the road. I'm gonna hit the road with her. We may not be speaking by the time we get to where we're going, but we still. If she were here, she would say, "Lamar, I'm just trying to help you because I want to be your ride, not die. Okay, we don't want to die on this ride. Okay,
that might be it. Well, listen, thank everybody for listening. Thank you so much for you listening for us. Hope you enjoyed it. So tell somebody about it. If not, keep it to yourself. I don't want that to get out. Y'all need to check out that multiple award-winning and Webby-nominated True Weird Stuff podcast because it is a killer. No, really, seriously, it's about killing people. I promise you'll love it. There's more to come on Talking Lamar, so don't stop now because I hate a quitter. Let us know what you think. Go to the Bob Sheri app. Look down at the bottom. Click on that microphone and start talking. We listen to every message. And if you want to go old school, you can call 844-52-SHERRY and leave a message. Until then,